Добрый день, друзья! И я хочу вас познакомить с моим другом, с активистом и анархистом. Это Майк. И он расскажет про себя сам. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
This is for my Russian friends.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right. So, are you an anarchist? Tell about your anarchist. Yeah.
Yeah, I would identify as an anarchist. That's mainly because of the climate crisis. So I think that the government is it's not just not acting on the climate crisis. You know, it's deliberately funding through subsidies every year, for instance. It's actively holding back any kind of action. Of course, we should blame corporations for their role, but that doesn't mean that the government gets off the hook. And I think that the only kind of actual hope, people always say that, you know, we need this massive transformation. Well, it has to be so big that we get rid of current power structures. And that means getting rid of the government and any unjustified hierarchies, and that's anarchism.
That's an anarchism for you.
Yeah.
How do you express anarchism in your day-to-day, day-to-day life, really?
Yeah, so
If you
I spend a lot of time mobilising activists, so trying to figure out how to get people to act, and I always try and hold as little power as possible, which is difficult, but trying to make sure that people who are like new to the group have the ability to self-organise, and there aren't kind of structures to control what they can and cannot do. It should always be that if you can do a thing, go do that thing, and no one can stop you. So it's truly self-organising grassroots.
Yeah, that means you have to be organized yourself, really. You can't expect someone to organize you.
Right.
So
this is a big tension. This is the difficult thing, is how do you actually, it's all well and good to say you have power to do something, but if you don't know how to do something, you effectively don't have that power. So that's a lot of
true.
what I've been trying to learn to do, is how do you kind of give information and power effectively. It's not easy, but that's the kind of thing I work on.
Yeah, but that's obviously, when you express it, it's challenging people, and people express not very nice emotions back. But okay, and then you tell a couple for us about the Scientist Rebellion. Just a second, I just got... Майк, наверное, первый, основатель такого части движения, это называется Scientist Rebellion, то есть это восстание ученых, потому что Майк сам ученый, и он, естественно, пытается всех ученых как бы говорить правду, чтобы ученые. И это случилось, это группа, международная группа. Вот. Say a couple words about your... you are one of the main people, really, in the Scientist Rebellion. What do you call yourself?
Yeah, so it started by myself and someone called Tim, Dr. Tim Hewlett. Our first action was throwing paint at the Royal Society and delivering a letter calling on them, and this is our general kind of message, although it's kind of evolved. It's generally, the point is, scientists should be at the front of a climate revolution. If the science says we need action, then scientists should be leading by example. It is not right to say people need to act, but not us, right? It's not for the other people to do. It's for scientists to be like, we need action, and we will show that we mean it by doing it. And that's currently not the case. Many scientists are not willing to take action because of their own privilege. They make many excuses for themselves, and it's extremely difficult and frustrating at times. But yeah, what we try and do is get scientists to act as if the truth is real. You know, if somebody told you, if you're in a building and somebody says the building's on fire and it's about to collapse, but they just say that extremely calmly and like nothing is going wrong, they're just sat there with a cup of tea saying 5 minutes we're both going to die, you wouldn't believe that person. Right? But if that person instead was, running around screaming, breaking windows, trying to drag people out of the building, you'd be like, oh, okay, there's an actual threat. But at the moment, scientists are just calmly saying, the world is going to end. And it's like, well, act like it's going to fucking end, and that involves making personal sacrifices. It means, being arrested, going to jail, fasting, and, going into the non-violent tradition.
Ну, я думаю, мне на это комментировать не надо, потому что это ясно, что, естественно, ученые как ученые не будут говорить правду, потому что, в общем, не нужно говорить правду. Никто типа того, что не поймет. Ну ладно, это все долгими словами я не буду, но Майк сам ученый. Please, can you tell your science, and you are scientist, and what is your theme? What did you study?
Sure. So I was doing a PhD. So I was doing theoretical physics. I was doing a PhD. My research was on the interplay between quantum gravity and quantum computing. So it was kind of how do you treat the universe as a whole like a computer, as a quantum computer specifically, because we have quantum mechanics, and what can we learn about quantum gravity, and that is it's kind of called the theory of everything. So we have different rules, and they all work individually, but we struggle to put them all together. So we struggle to put gravity and quantum mechanics together. This has been the thing we've been trying to do for 100 years, and it turns out you can learn a lot about it if you do this kind of approach.
Всем понятно, да? Ну да, теоретическая физика, и, естественно, эта тема была как-то больше, ну, в двух словах, всем понятно, да, что это нейроотличные черты человека, и понятно, что в течение этой диссертации Майк понял, что ученые не говорят правду, и его, так сказать, моральный компас съехал, и он бросил все, он сказал этому университету. What is the university name you've been studying?
So I did my undergraduate and masters at UCL, University College London, and I started my PhD at St Andrews.
St Andrews, that's Scotland.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Ну, в общем, достаточно, я не буду говорить там большие слова про это, но это места, куда берутся талантливых людей, скажем так. And so you're going to COP26, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, and all your scientists going there. How many people do you think will come? Not from your scientist rebellion group, I mean.
We currently have about 10 people who are coming. 8 of them are arrestable. And that is without kind of further mobilisation. That's just what we already had, as it were. So I hope to double that, at least,
All right. Okay.
and get maybe 20 scientists to be arrested.
Майк сам, когда он ушел в активизм из научной карьеры, он стал активистом прямого действия. Я вместе со Стефаном, и если кто-то помнит мои видео с февраля, где я участвовала в акции и обливала краской дом советов местный, я это делала с Майком, собственно говоря. И мы вот недалеко отсюда это обливали краской. Вот. Но у Майка это было, наверное, how many cases you had through in last 3 years? How many times you've been arrested? Just roughly.
30.
No detail. 30.
No, 1.
13 это.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Quite a lot.
Это много.
I've been to prison once.
Да, и один раз в тюряге. Once in prison.
Once in prison, but I'm about to go to prison, as you know.
Ага, ну да, это вся система, это другая тема. Вот, так что я очень рада была вас познакомить с моим другом, и мы вместе много чего еще делаем. Ну, и вообще мы просто очень хорошие, аутистичные брат и сестра. Все, пока, спасибо.